Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright, folks, if you've been paying close attention to what's happening around the NFL, especially in the NFC East, you know that the Washington Commanders are not just sitting still. No, sir. They're actively looking to improve, to add that extra spark, that star power that might push them over the edge. And honestly, the buzz this offseason points to a very intriguing possibility, one that could have major repercussions not only for the Commanders but for their division rivals as well. We're talking about a potential trade that could shake up the tight end position and give the Commanders a real weapon in the passing game. And that weapon, it's none other than Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Mark Andrews, isn't he a key piece for the Ravens? Absolutely. Andrews has been a vital part of Baltimore's offense for years now, a reliable target for Lamar Jackson, and a guy who's made big plays in critical moments. But, as with many NFL stories, there's a complex chess game behind the scenes. Andrews is entering a stage in his career where the Ravens might consider moving him, especially given the circumstances of last season's playoff stumble, his age, and the looming question of a potentially hefty contract extension. The Ravens, after all, might see a trade as an opportunity to recoup draft capital and reset their roster. Meanwhile, the Commanders see a chance to bring in a proven clutch performer, someone who can immediately elevate their offense. Let's dig deeper into why this trade makes so much sense for Washington. First, the tight end position has been a bit of a question mark for the team in recent years. Zach Ertz, despite still being productive, is now 34 years old. He's a solid veteran, a reliable target for quarterback Jadon Daniels, but he's also set to hit free agency next year. That leaves the team in a bit of a bind. They need a younger, more dynamic option, someone who can not only block but also stretch defenses and make plays in the red zone. Enter Mark Andrews. He's not just a traditional tight end, he's a matchup nightmare for defenses, a guy who can line up inside or out, and most importantly, a reliable chain mover. Andrews has always been known for his sure hands and ability to make clutch catches. Last season, despite some ups and downs, he still caught a career-best 11 touchdowns and converted nearly 71% of his catches into first downs. That's the kind of production that can transform an offense. For the Commanders, that's exactly what they're looking for, someone who can step in and be a reliable, consistent threat, especially in critical moments. Think about the possibilities. Pairing Andrews with Deebo Samuel, one of the most explosive wideouts in the league, and Terry McLaurin, who's still waiting for that big contract extension but continues to be the heartbeat of the passing game. McLaurin, folks, is a special talent. He's a game changer, a deep threat, and a route runner who demands attention. Yet, despite his talent, and the fact that he's been a 1-0-yard receiver multiple times, he's still not locked into a long-term deal. That has to be a concern for the Commanders' front office, because they need to keep their star players happy and in the fold if they want to contend in the stacked NFC East. Bringing in Andrews could also serve as a way to diversify the offense, using multiple tight end sets more often, which is a trend in the NFL now. Imagine a scenario where Andrews and Ertz line up together, creating mismatches and forcing defenses to pick their poison. Of course, there's the question of cost. The Commanders are reportedly willing to part with a third-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, which, considering Andrews' talent and age, might be a bargain. The Ravens, on the other hand, have to weigh the value of their star tight end, especially after a challenging playoff loss where Andrews failed to make a crucial catch, a moment that might linger in their minds. That dropped two-point conversion against Buffalo in the divisional round was a rare blemish on an otherwise stellar career. Andrews is a player who has consistently delivered, but that play could be a defining moment that makes the Ravens more open to a deal. Now, it's important to understand the bigger picture here. The Ravens are entering a bit of a rebuild phase, especially with Lamar Jackson's contract situation and the team's overall roster construction. Trading Andrews could be a way to free up cap space and draft capital to rebuild around their young quarterback or to add other key pieces. But for the Commanders, this is a golden opportunity. They've been building a solid roster with a good mix of veterans and young talent, but they need that final piece, a reliable, high-impact tight end who can make a difference in the red zone and in clutch moments. This move could also open up new strategic possibilities. With Andrews on the field, the Commanders could run more two tight end sets, giving them versatility in their offensive play calling. Imagine the confusion it would cause defenses. Ertz and Andrews lined up together, both capable of making contested catches, both adept at blocking when needed. That kind of personnel grouping is becoming increasingly popular in the NFL because it creates mismatches and makes it harder for defenses to adjust on the fly. But let's not forget the bigger implications. If the Commanders do manage to land Andrews, they're sending a message to the rest of the NFC East. This team is serious about contending now. They're not just trying to squeak into the playoffs. They want to make a statement and push for a deep postseason run. Andrews' presence could elevate the entire offense, making it more unpredictable and dangerous, especially with a talented quarterback like Jaden Daniels who's still developing but has shown flashes of brilliance. And speaking of Daniels, this is a quarterback who's got the arm, the mobility, and the football IQ to thrive with weapons like McLaurin, Samuel, and a tight end like Andrews. The coaching staff under Cliff Kingsbury has been emphasizing a more creative, multiple tight end approach, something that Andrews would fit perfectly into. It's a system designed to be flexible, to create space for playmakers, and to keep defenses guessing. If they can incorporate Andrews into that scheme, it could be a recipe for a potent offense that can compete with the top teams in the NFC. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the financial side of things. Paying Andrews after this season, especially when the team is also trying to lock down Samuel and left tackle Laramie Tunsil, won't be easy. The franchise will have to be smart with their cap space and negotiations. But if they believe Andrews can be a cornerstone, someone who can contribute for years to come, it might be worth the investment. Remember, players like Andrews don't come around every day, and having a reliable, big-time tight end can be a difference maker in the playoffs. Of course, this is all speculation for now, but the signs point to a real possibility. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and the Commanders are no strangers to making bold moves. Whether or not this trade materializes, what's clear is that the team is in a window where they need to maximize their talent and push for that elusive Super Bowl appearance. They've got the talent on defense, a solid offensive line, and now they're looking to add more explosive weapons. This potential move also highlights the broader trend in the NFL, building rosters around dynamic, versatile playmakers who can line up in multiple spots and create mismatches. Andrews fits that mold perfectly. His route running, catching ability, and clutch performance make him a perfect fit for Washington's offensive scheme. And if they pull off this trade, it could be a game changer, not just for this season but for the future of the franchise. As we look ahead to the upcoming season, the question remains, will the Commanders make this bold move? It's a storyline worth watching closely because it could redefine their offense and ultimately their chances of making a deep playoff run. The NFC East is competitive, no doubt, but with the right additions, the Commanders could be the team to beat. They've already shown they're willing to invest in star talent. Now, all eyes are on how they will execute these plans. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Mark Andrews would be the perfect fit for the team? Or are there other players you'd rather see in Commanders' colors? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and all the insights you need to stay ahead of the curve. So stay tuned, keep supporting your team, and let's keep the passion alive. This is more than just a team, it's a family, and together, we're building something special.